Alrighty, what is up, guys? Crypto market update for you guys right now. Pretty boring to more, downward. It's one of those days where it kind of not too much happens. We're continuing to reject from these big points, kind of on Bitcoin right now. That spiral line rejection. Your daily is looking kind of on the more bear camp. It's looked like that for a while right now. I mean, the big thing we're waiting for here, and we've been waiting for it really since it's been months, 3 months, I think. Let's see, November, actually 2 months, 2 months of this essentially. So, I mean, the thing I'll say here is usually when you're kind of range bound, the longest it'll go for is like 2.5 months from my experience, from what I've seen in these markets. That doesn't mean it can't go for another month, but I think you're either going to break downward to kind of, somewhere in these areas, these 80s, maybe my worst case scenario is kind of 72. I don't think we're going to go that low. Or we kind of break upward up to, somewhere in the 120s, obviously no exact science here, but, somewhere between like 120 to 130, I would say. I mean, I guess you could go higher than that, by March or something, but I don't think you're going to get up all the way up to 150 by March or whatever. I mean, that's the point where I'm going to be looking to trying to, start getting out of these markets as we get up to 150 or wherever we end up towards October to December of this year, because in the 4-year cycle, that's generally the best place to DCA out, October or December to this year. So, essentially the thing we want to look at here is, some of these high time frames, they still look okay. Money flow looks okay in the weekly. 2-week money flow still looks decent. We're kind of, sort of, still trying to go down to trigger wave for me on the 2-day, but that's not too bad as of yet. Once it prints, I'd be more concerned. So if that does print, the odds would be higher. VWAP coming down, money flow coming out, the odds would be higher that you break downward to some of these areas. Big scene of the crime would be at 72K. Maybe I'm being too optimistic saying that I don't think we're going to go that low, but who knows? We're in that post-halving year. I'm going to be more optimistic generally. And yeah, I mean, just rejecting from that point again, money flow kind of coming out here. So just looking at some of these lower time frames. Yeah, right now, I guess it would be a little bit more in the odds of favor of coming down a little bit more 2-hour. I mean, we're not having the craziest high trading volume, at 11 p.m. Eastern time, right now, but money flow coming out there. Yeah, short term, I think you could come down a little bit more. Now, the thing that we want to look at here on ETH, the thing that I've been looking at is your 12-hour is, blood diamond potentially bringing us down a little bit more, maybe back down to these areas. I mean, the big place, the huge place that I'm looking at, just look at, if you form this reverse head and shoulders right here, 2,800, that's going to be the big place that we really want to look at. So, I mean, it's not impossible to mess around with this maybe into early February or something and then hopefully break upward. That would be boring. I mean, I want something to happen here. This has just been kind of a really, I don't know what they call a crab market, kangaroo market, because the crab walks sideways. I don't know. But anyway, you know what I mean? It's, yeah. Trigger wave to the downside. Yeah, if you're trying to trade right now, maybe trying to short down to these areas. It's not the easiest, market to trade at the moment. Or on the bullish side, trying to jump off of here. I mean, if you did one trade trying to short this down to this point, another one trying to jump this up through 3,400, both with good risk management, good risk reward ratios, you would win one of them and probably be profitable over time. Hard concept to understand if you're starting out, but it's one of the things to learn here. So that's what we could be looking at. ETH versus Bitcoin. I'm optimistic, maybe a little bit too much optimistic, but look, I follow the 4-year cycle. We should be jumping up against Bitcoin a hell of a lot this year. If we don't, that's going to suck, but yeah, that's kind of how it is. I mean, if this altcoin doesn't, if you consider ETH to be an altcoin, if this altcoin doesn't do well, hopefully other altcoins I own will do well and make up for that. But I think that you're going to get that jump up relatively soon. We need that monthly to come back with that green dot like I was talking about in yesterday's video. So, yeah, I mean, I think you should be able to jump up, but it's a little bit, some of these time frames are just a little bit, you know what I mean? Just that boring, bearishness. But I think you're going to get that. That sentiment can change. A lot of good stuff is happening with ETH. Forgot exactly what it was. It had to do with Trump or big money, putting money into ETH or whatever. I feel like there's always good news with that, no matter how what's happening, what the hell's happening with crypto. But anyway, I still think it'll be good, at least based on the Fourier cycle. I don't know what I was looking at here. ETH versus NASDAQ. I mean, that's where it gets a little tricky too. That trigger wave. That's the thing to be afraid of. The 3-week. I just don't see it playing out like the catastrophic option here. I just want to look at. Sorry if you guys are getting bored with this, but I just want to Kraken's got more data here. I mean, previous times. I mean, I guess you can compare it to August of 2019, but this is a post-halving year. This isn't freaking pre-halving year. You know what I mean? It's more of like you came into the red there, and now you want to do this. It's like you're coming back up rather than going down. You know what I mean? So I think that should drive us more forward. That's what I'm really thinking here. That should hopefully drive us more forward. That's the important thing to kind of realize here. I mean, I wouldn't get overly bearish until, the next monthly red dot. And even then, like it could be, your technical target's going to be somewhere around the 7,000 mark. Maybe then you get that bear div in the monthly. And that could be kind of your, macro. That could be your bull market. And then you come back down to kind of where we are right now or something, which is kind of my guess on where you will. 60 to 70% down probably in the bear market, probably at least 50% down, back down to 3,500 in the bear market. We could come up more than 7,400. That's just when I'm going to be starting to be more conservative, take a lot of chips off the table, at least gradually once we hit that. The thing that I talked about yesterday, I mean, it still looks like your yields will continue downward. Look at the last time your yields kind of rejected. That was October 23. How about this time, October 24? Or April 24. So that time it came down generally with everything else for crypto. However, I think it's going to be more like this time as we reject here, and I'd be very surprised. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the odds are under 10% that we would do something like that. I think that you're going to reject, especially with the Fed, especially with Trump coming back in, especially, with everything happening. I'd be very surprised if this, breaks upward. That would be rough for a lot of people. I don't think they're going to let that happen, especially with credit card debt and all that. Yeah, I doubt it. But yeah, that coming down, I think that'll help our altcoin season, our altcoin rally. And I think that rally is going to start, within a few weeks, within a month. Somebody asked me to look at Cardano in a comment on last, why was I skipping Cardano? I don't know. It was boring. Money flow's still good. I mean, I think we're going to do something along these lines. I think, you could get up to $5 if you make new all-time high. Kind of my top would be around $8. Highest I could see her going. I mean, I don't want to be too, negative on car or too positive, however you may look at it. But I'd say worst case scenario is probably like a double, I would say. Probably best case scenario is in a 7 or 8x. My guess would be $5, but we'll see. We'll see if Cardano's got it in her. I think she might. And, short term, we'll see what happens here. I think that you should. So my guess here, and there's always curveballs, but I think that you get another test of 91 cents and then you should break upward sometime in February. Again, I think February is going to be a damn good month for this. A potential trade setup for Cardano, you're probably going to be holding it for a hell of a long time. That's a damn good risk reward ratio. It'll probably take you a long time to hit that point or whatever. You could be more conservative, maybe high ones or whatever, mess around, find some level there or whatever. But that trade probably will do well on Cardano. Polygon, I think you'll generally hold 40 cents. I could be wrong. And then hopefully jumping up, hopefully doubling within a few months. That's what I'm looking at. AVAX is another one I like, as you guys know. I think you're eventually going to jump up to that 150, at least back to those all-time highs, at least up to 100, hopefully, a 3x. If all goes well, maybe somewhere between 220 to 368. Big fib levels there. I think we could do something cool here. So that's what I'm looking at for this market at the moment. Again, a little bit boring right now. We got to see what happens. I'm in a long right now. I think it's, on ETH. Maybe I'll get stopped out, but I'll be looking to kind of re-enter. And I'm really looking at that Cardano setup. But it's kind of a boring setup. It's going to take a while, but you kind of got to improvise here. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this update. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are interested in trading, check out the links down below, especially BYDFI, BloFin down below. Oh, and a new really good thing that I like a lot, wanted to mention to you guys, Breakout trading. It's the third link down below. that is, it could be a really good option for prop trading. I'm not going to explain every detail on it right now. But basically, if you could pass a test for not that much money, they could give you up to a 100K account to trade with, and you keep 90% of those gains. It's legit. I have not heard anything bad about it. I know a lot of big people that use it, so I've used it myself, had a lot of good success there. Pretty good platform. Check it out, link down below, especially if you don't have a crazy amount of capital to trade with, especially if you only want to risk a little bit and especially learn how to do this. I think it's a really, really good option. So check out Breakout down below, the link down below for that. And yeah, guys, hope you guys have a good one. Goodbye.